Hello everyone. As in our module 3, we are discussing about core cloud services. Okay, so we are discussing about core cloud services. We are discussing about the compute storage networking. So, storage and networking we have done. In this video, we are going to focus on the compute services, which provide virtual machine or processing power. So, in this part, if you come to the compute, then in case of Amazon, it is known as the EC2. In case of Azure, it's the virtual machine. And in case of Google, it's the Google Compute Engine. So what the EC2 do, in case of Amazon, it's called EC2 and also called instance. Okay. So EC2 service give us the instance where we create the instance to get the computing power there. Offer a wide range of instance type including journal, compute optimized, memory optimized, and many more. Graphics optimized, there is GPU, then many more as per our requirement. Storage optimized also available. So like we have to choose which particular type of EC2 we want to create here. If we have to create the instance for general purpose like general workload, a normal database server or website hosting, so we choose a general purpose. Like if we have to set up a heavy database, can go up to SAP and HANA. In that case, we choose the memory optimized. If there is any application that require intense computing power, in this case, we choose the compute optimized category. I will show you when going on the console, I will show you all the options. So EC2 provide flexibility with various operating system and pricing models. Clear? So we have to choose first instance type and which operating system, and we can also choose the pricing models also. That can be the saving plans, that can be the reservation plans. I will show you all during the console. Okay, so let's move to the console now. With the console, hit the console. In our last video, we discussed everything about the networking part. We create one customized VPC, subnet, route table, internet gateway, everything we have done in our previous video. So now come to the EC2 console. To go to the EC console, either go to this all services, then go to the compute section. From here, we get the EC2. Or we can directly search it from here also. EC2, you get that. So here now we are on the EC2 console. Okay. So if you go to the dashboard of EC2, so we can see here, just give it time, it will check. We have one EC2 already running. By default, there is no VPC. So we have already perhaps created in some demonstration. Just okay. So, but you have to keep it in mind. If you want to create your EC2 instance in the same region where you create the VPC, then you should be in the same region. If you check our VPC, perhaps we created in the same region. Go to your VPC and then check. Yes, I have created in the same region my VPC. So to create your instance, you must be in the same region. If you go to another region, then you will not find this VPC there. All these are the region specific services. All these are the region specific service. Like we do the IAM, that is a global service. You can configure it in any region. You can create it in any region, but it works globally. But your instance creation, your VPC, all is the region specific. So you should be in the same region. If you want to create the EC2s or whatever the resources, in the same VPC, should be in the same result. So if you go to the instance I have shown you, right now perhaps one EC2 is already working, Docker and something, I don't know. Maybe I have created this previously. So what I do, you can see the instance type here. As I was discussing, some that you can see here the compute power. Here 64 CPU, 256 of RAM, 64 CPU, 128 RAM, 64, 64, and many more options you find here. Like if I show you how many CPUs are 128 CPU, 512 RAM. So that totally depend which particular type. Look here, 192 CPU, 340 RAM. Means this is a memory optimized or compute intense. The CPU is less, but memory you can see 68.4 RAM. Means some memory optimized. Either ATM comes in a general category, so you can see here 128 CPU, 256 RAM, 64, 128. So that totally depend which instance type you choose, totally depend on the requirement, what type of application you want to run there. Okay, so remain many option I will discuss later. So what I do now, I go to the launch instance option to create a new EC2 machine here. Give any name here, EC2 hyphen test EC2. Okay, this name is not like S3, should be globally unique. You can give any name, whatever you want within your account. No problem for the name. Then you have to choose which particular operating system do you want to install here. Either Windows, either Linux, either Mac. In Linux, you can see so many flavors. Amazon, Ubuntu, Red Hat, SUSE, Debian, all are available. If you find not available that I want, then you can go the browse more AMI. AMI, Amazon Machine Image. Amazon stand for AMI stand for Amazon Machine Image. Like if you remember when we create a machine in our VMware, when we are doing the virtualization, that time also we give one ISO file for the operating system. So here you can go to the browse more AMI. You can see here so many. You can go to my AMI. I don't have AMI now. Marketplace. You can purchase any operating system you can purchase with proper like VPN access and so many applications there. For that you have to pay the money and you can use it. You can see. Community AMI is the separate thing. Perhaps we will discuss sometime later. So these are the AMIs. So what I choose, I go back. EC2 I start here. Launch instance. Give any name. Choose the operating system. So suppose right now I'm going to choose my window. In window also, there are a lot of options you find. Not only this you're getting here, you can go for any, including some softwares like SQL database you want to install with Enterprise, Standard, Web Edition. Okay, then 2019 server with Standard Edition, Enterprise, and so it depend on a requirement which particular operating system you have to use. Right now I'm going to use this one, that is the free tier eligible. But if you choose anyone else, it will create a bill for you. So whenever you choose any of the AMI, every AMI have a unique ID. When we require it, right now we don't require it. But when we go for the CLI or some scripting programming, that time we have to mention this AMI. Okay. Next step is to choose the instance type that I have shown you. There are a lot of instance type available. So depending on the requirement, you can choose any AMI from here. but we will choose T3 micro, which give us 2 eCPUs and 1 gig of memory. So that is okay for testing purpose, and also the free tier eligible. You need to pay to use this. Now key pair. Either you can choose from any existing key pair in this account and within this region, and or we can create one new here. EC2 orphan test key pair. When we click on the create key pair, what happened? It download one TAM file here. Always recommended to keep this file very safe. In future, if you want to remote call login either via SSH in Linux or RDP in Windows case, then you must require this file. Otherwise, it become difficult to log in. Means recovery process is little difficult then. Okay, so we have configure key pair. Now the thing main come, that is a network settings. If you don't do any network setting and launch the instance, then that instance go into the default VPC. That go into default VPC. Then click on the edit. Now you can see by default it's going to the default VPC. What I do? I will create this resource in my VPC. Remember in our previous video when we discussed about the networking part, we create a VPC by the name of my VPC. The same I'm continuing with that VPC. So we create there one public subnet and private subnet, you can see here. If we change the VPC, then you will find some different subnets here. Then you will not find my public and private, you can see here. Then you will find the subnet of that particular VPC. So go here and choose my VPC. In my VPC, okay, I will choose one public right now. If you got the time, we will create one more VPC in private subnet also. So auto assign public IP by default, keep it in mind. By default, if we choose the default VPC, then it is always enabled. If you go work into the default VPC, then it is enabled. Or if you go with custom VPC that you have created, then by default it is disabled. Don't, if this particular device should have the internet access, then this public IP must be enabled here. Otherwise, if we don't do enable it here from here, we can enable it later also. We can enable it later also after creating the VPC. I will show you that option also. This is regarding the security group, firewall security, to protect this particular EC2 from any malicious activity or unauthorized access, or what particular application you need to install. According to that, you need to configure the rule here in the security group. So by default RDP is enabled here, because if you are creating any instance, we must have to take that on the remote access. So security group, you can add more as per your requirement. For example, you are going to set up a web server here, then what should be the enable? HTTP should be enabled. Source anytime. Why? Because we are not sure who will access it from anywhere. In the HTTP case, if it's a web server, anybody can access it from the internet. Enable one more, like suppose we are going to a secure server. In that case, we require HTTPS here. This also should be from anywhere. If you have the specific IP range, then you can define that. You can define the range for a particular CIDR. Right now, anywhere. Advanced settings also available. Okay, na? Interface card you want to create or something, you want to use some another IP address, you can choose that. Right now, nothing we are going to do. Here is the storage part. Here is the storage part. By default, with free tier account, 30 GB is free of cost in GP3. You can change it as per your requirement, but right now we are going to use the default. Okay, so what more additional things you can see here in the advanced detail? You want to enable any directory option here. If any directory is configured in your account, IAM role, host name type. Every machine you create, there will be a host name. So you can choose here either resource name or IP range. So keep it in mind, I am going to choose IP name. So when EC2 get ready, it will get a host name by this IP range. What the IP it got in a public range. There's many more options. So leave everything default and launch instance here. Let it be. It will take few moments to launch. Uh, so this is the option. Okay, successfully launched. You go to instance, refresh. This is my EC2 test. Set is running, but it is the initializing stage right now. In the initializing stage. So you can see here it got one public IP here, one of the private IP here. Look here. Uh, Here is the everything that you can see here. One public, one private, everything is here, but still the initializing condition. So if we go with the host name, host ID is thing, one should be the host name that you can see here. We choose the via IP range. So it is showing the IP. The host name is this one, the host name. So what is the other options you can see here? You can go for the storage part here. You can go for the monitoring part, security. Let's check the storage. So whenever we create EC2, we configure there for the 30 GB of EBS. So one EBS by the name of 16794 suppose. Parallelly, if we check here in the elastic block storage, we go for the volume option. So let's check here. Yes, 16794. Immediately one EBS comes. Naturally, now if it's creating, installing the any operating system, it require one storage part also there. It parallelly it create one EBS volume also. So let it be start in the amount time. But you can say you can go to the storage I've shown. Can go to the security part where we configure the security rule in the security group. This is the security group where we add the rule. Go to the networking part. This is a subnet ID. We put it in the public subnet if you remember everything. This is in the my VPC. In availability zone 2D it automatically assigned by the because we left there on the Amazon. This is the public IP address, private IP address. This all information regarding networking. Done. So now check here. Now 2 of 2 check has been passed. So now how we can take this machine on the remote access? For that purpose, go to connect option, choose this particular whom I want to take on the remote, connect RDP. So this is the public IP. So either what we can do, we can copy this, go to our RDP part, remote for our base machine, remote desktop connection. Either we can start from here also, go to the IP here and can connect. Second option, what we can do, download remote desktop file. One file has been downloaded here. Now we need the password to log in here. Get the password, go here, upload the key file. What is the key file here? That comes to the download. This is the key file. EC2-test that we create during the launching the instance. then decrypt the password. So this is the login password now. Now what to do? Open that RDP file, connect, perfect. It's asking for this particular password. So I put here the password, okay, good. So yes, now this machine will be on the remote desktop. We can configure it as we want to do with it. Good. In the meantime, the machine start, come back to the console. Here you can see many options. In the meantime, machine comes here. I will show you the other options also. I'm here. So connect option I have shown you to connect the machine on RDP. Instant state, stop, reboot and terminate. Stop means you don't want to use right now for some time, you can stop it. The benefit to stop that, what cost? If the machine you are is created there and it's a running state, you can say running state, then EC2 will be charged for that. Means Amazon will charge for that running instance. But if you stop that, AWS will not charge any money from you. Only charge for this EBS storage, but not charge for the compute part. Reboot, if any some problem, you can reboot the machine. And terminate means I totally want to terminate the instance. I don't require this as instance anymore. In action part, diagnostics, instance setting you can do, stop protection, shutdown protection, migration, all that. Networking part, attach more networking interface, detach it from the current, okay, RDS database and all that, manage IP address or dissociate elastic IP address. It's associated with this IP address, so I want to dissociate it. So manage IP address, I will show you some options here. When you go to the manage IP option, go here. If by mistake you forget to enable auto IP assignment, public IP assignment, then we can do it from here. Oh, we did mistake because machine was on the remote. Yes, working till it. Maybe can. So we can enable the public IP here in case we forget to enable it from there. Clear? So you can see here now our machine is ready. Whatever you want to do, you can do it from here. Either make it any server or anything, you can do it. So to verify this machine is connected with the internet or not, I'll just go to the Internet Explorer. I'm going to the edge and can check this machine is properly able to communicate over the internet. It's booting right now, so taking some time. Let it be. In the meantime, it started. Same behave like your base machine you are using. So go to the Google. It start asking the same behavior that your base machine do. Sync the data, start syncing the data. Everything get like that. Continue and confirm. Continue without a Google data. Same behavior. Nothing different. Now don't take it as a separate machine. Now it's a real machine. Okay. So let it be. In the meantime, I will show you some more options. Take some time. So instance type I have shown, launch template. We can, before starting, we can create the launch template here. Means what if we are going to launch any instance, then what configuration we start. Otherwise we do everything manually when we are going to the instance. So if you go to the launch instance here, okay, so here we can use a launch template. Right now here asking me, but by creating the launch template, it asked me what. Here also it's creating the launch instance. So initially we can create it spot resistance template request. Means when we don't require any of the EC2 for long time, just for a testing purpose at a very low cost. Saving plans to save the money. Like here, I will show you some option here also for the cost saving purpose, and especially when you are planning to go for a long time. It's a long time project. For that purpose, you are going to save the money, purchase and saving plan. What type of purchase? Compute saving plan or particular instance saving plan? So from here, term, suppose 1 year or 3 year. Reason, you want to choose the reason. Okay, I want to go with the North Virginia region. You can say now it's the global. This is the global side. Global service. Instance family, we want suppose C type, purchase commitment around minimum $200, everything. Payment option, all payment I will do the upfront. Now tell me the cost. It is saying you have to pay only 1,752. Total you pay me and you can keep continuing using for the 1 year. The term we choose here, if it is for 3 years, it become more easier, more lesser as per the 3 year. So if I go for the partial payment, some payment I do now, some I do now. Then okay, you do this payment right now and you can give monthly payment like this dollar. So in this way you can choose a saving plan also here. Same as a reservation plan. Because these all need to understand, these all things come under the EC2. So when you're planning for EC2 for a long term, for short, if you're thinking about short term, go for the on spot, on demand. Otherwise, you can choose spot for very short term, for testing purpose, saving and all that. This is regarding the AMIs I have already explained. Volumes I have told you. Each time you create a machine, you can attach, you will get a new volume. So machine is running now. Next, what is asking? Keep bugging me. So go to Google and you can see this machine can go to the internet now. Look here. So perfect. We can do any task here right now like a normal machine. So depending on the requirement, we create that. So hope, okay, I'm just going to disconnect it. So we are here on the console. So you can do the key pair we have created. You can see all the key pair that exist in my account right now. So what I do, I just delete all the unnecessary to save the money. Otherwise, everything is chargeable. You have to pay the money, whatever you create here. So this is all thing I've shown you how to launch and create the instance. But again, the end I want to say one thing. After completing your demonstration, don't forget to delete that resource. Otherwise, you have to pay the money for it. Terminate. Once done, finish it. Now, as shutting down means now no charges for that. So hope everything is clear to you. Learn something from here about the EC2 compute power. See you in the next video with next topic. Till then, goodbye.